What is good, everybody? It is Spill here, and welcome back to the NBA 2K Lab channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my insane 6'6" inside-out playmaker build, which has been an absolute menace on both ends of the court. The gameplay has been pretty nuts, and I've been enjoying it so far, so be sure to subscribe if you're new, and let's get right into it. I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay, but I've been loving this build, and as a taller point guard at 6'6", I feel like this build really clears a lot of the best thresholds to be super effective. Now, that perimeter threat build I posted a little while ago is still one of my favorite builds, but this one here is a little more suitable as a true point guard, especially in the rec. Now, I'm going to go through the entire build and tell you why I went for certain thresholds, and also give you guys some advice on how to customize this build to lower or higher some things for your playstyle. So be sure to watch the whole video so you don't miss anything. Starting off for our template, we have a point guard 6'6" at a minimum weight of 180 pounds with a wingspan of 6'11" for our shooting thresholds. Now, you can increase the weight if you prefer, but at the very least, make sure you have at least 87 acceleration for gold speed booster. First, for our finishing, and we're not doing much here besides going for the earliest driving dunk threshold for contact dunks. That threshold is an 87 driving dunk, which gets the 2-foot pro contacts. This is actually my first build this year that gets contact dunks, and as I said before, I was a little skeptical on the 87 dunk at first, with all the other contact packages looking very enticing by only adding a few more dunk attributes. But dunk this year is so expensive, so I settled with an 87, and honestly, I couldn't be any happier. The meter dunk feels great in the right situations, and just the dunks I'm getting in general are feeling pretty effective. While I do get a lot of the same contact animations, I don't feel like I'm missing out too much on the other packages, especially since I mainly hunt threes on this build. Now, if you wanted to still dunk effectively without the contacts, there's a couple different thresholds to choose from, and you could go with a 75 dunk minimum for some good packages like athletic one-handers off one and DeMar DeRozan, or you could go for something like an 84 driving dunk for the LeBron package, or if you just wanted to bump it up one more to 85, you could get the alley-oop packages and some other good packages as well, making 85 another solid threshold. But for me, I'm sticking with this 87 as I wanted skill dunks and contacts on this build. And just a heads up, you can always check every animation requirement on our website for free at nba2klab.com, which is super convenient and something I use every time I make a build, and you should definitely check it out to make sure your build isn't missing any crucial animation thresholds. Now, moving on to shooting, and this is something I labbed a bit, I strictly went with an 88 3-point rating, which is going to get us open looks on gold, which improves your ability to make wide open shots. We're actually in the middle of running the open looks badge test, and it's turning out to be a solid boost to your make percentage, especially at the Hall of Fame level. So personally, I wanted to target this badge on at least gold to be an effective and consistent 3-point creator. Not only does the 88 3-point rating get you some good badges, but it also unlocks a wider selection of jump shot bases. Now, an 86 3-point rating is solid for Silver Agent 3, and it can work well, but like I said, I wanted gold open looks on my build, and I've recently been using a new jumper base that requires a higher rating anyway, so it ended up working out. But lastly, for shooting, I went with a 71 free throw for the bronze free points badge, and free throw shooting is definitely harder this year, and for my future builds, I might probably shoot more toward an 80 free throw to be a little more consistent at the line. For playmaking, there's a few key thresholds here, and starting with pass accuracy, we're going with an 87 for my beloved bailout badge. I've been using this badge so much in the most recent years of 2K, and it's so ingrained in me to drive and kick, so I personally need it. If you don't want the bailout badge, there's a couple other options you can go for. An 82 pass accuracy is good for silver touch passer, but I wouldn't go much lower than that if if you're a point guard, but if you're making this build as a shooting guard, you could get away with anything from about 74 to 82. Just find which badges in that range you'd like to have. For ball handle, we went with a 92 rating, as this is the minimum threshold for the elite dribble Sigs. It's also the threshold for gold blow by, unpluckable, and speed booster, and really just a perfect threshold for 6'6 guard builds. We're going with an 83 speed with ball, which is the other requirement for gold speed booster, and gold hyperdrive, which is important to this build. I wouldn't change too much in playmaking besides pass accuracy if you plan on making this build as a point guard. If you cared for my Sigs, here they are, but if you want to find your own and see which ones we recommend for each build, premium members at NBA2KLab.com have access to our exclusive dribble grading tool, which Koza has been putting countless hours into testing every single animation with grades and descriptions so you can choose which ones work best for you. But back to the build. Now for defense, I wanted to be able to play both ends of the court, so I gave this build enough perimeter defense to hold its own with bronze clamps and bronze fast feet at a 76, and I also wanted to generate some turnovers, so we went with an 85 steal for silver glove, which has been pretty effective early on. Now, as mainly an offensive minded point guard, we do have some tools at our disposal. Interceptions have been decent, and I'm getting timely plucks with glove and right stick ripper, making this a very well-rounded build at the point guard position. Lastly, for physicals, we have an 82 speed, which gives us gold hyperdrive for rim runs, and 87 acceleration for our speed boosting badges, 45 strength for bronze clamps, 75 vert for the contact dunks, and then 96 stamina for gold handles for days. Now, as you can see, everything on this build has a threshold cutoff for every attribute, making this build truly min-max for this type of playstyle. If you like to use skill dunks, create your own three-point shot with elite dribbles, and hold your own on defense, this build definitely checks all the boxes and has been one of the most fun builds I've used so far in 2K24. And that is all we have for this 6'6 Inside Out Playmaker. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to check us out again for more builds, badges, and jump shot tests. It's been Spill, and I'm out. Later.